We have not seen the likes of this since, like, Lady Macbeth, honestly.
Correct. If drag queens are not lip syncing this by, the end of the business day, I will be upset. Welcome back, everybody. This is And Just Like Yap. I'm Caroline.
I'm Andy.
We're unfortunately back on different coasts, so we're not in person together, but it was such a treat last week to be together. It was such a gift.
And I needed to hold your hand on my sofa. I feel renewed for a while.
It's funny you say that because All's Fair got renewed for season 2.
What a segue! What a segue!
Showbiz, baby, but I'm thrilled. What are we calling ourselves? Are we Greegies? Like, I was trying to figure out the GRGs. Are we Standishing on business? Are we...
Standish stands?
Yeah, Standish stands.
We'll workshop it. I was really, to be honest, there was part of me that was surprised that it got renewed, but also...
They wouldn't put this much money and star power into something for it to only have one season.
It's true.
But I'm very excited about it. I think, I don't know, I feel like this week's episode was maybe my favorite of the 6 so far.
It was bananas.
It was bananas.
And the previous episodes have also been bananas. But this one was... truly, truly, truly bananas.
So I think we got to get into episode 6.
Let's do it.
And we are not far from, I think, of where episode 5 ended. The timelines we're not far apart. But we're back talking about Chase's hair yet again. Car can't get her foot off of Chase's neck about his greasy hair, telling that it looks like Exxon-Valdez-jizz all over your head. What a visual. I always think of, when I think about the Exxon-Valdez oil spill, I think of that episode of Saved by the Bell, where the ducks had the oil spill.
Yeah. Oh, God. One of those, like, serious episodes they did on Saved by the Bell.
And we find out that she's putting Orby dry shampoo in his hair, Pigpen, which I looked up. It's the black dry shampoo that has, gold sparkles on it. I didn't know.
Oh, yeah. I have only ever used a sample size that came in a Birchbox once, but it's good stuff.
God, the car insults continue, telling him he looks like gay Tarzan. I mean, she was ready to fight. I love Carrington's descriptions, she's like the Beyonce of words. She won a Pulitzer. I was like, I mean, that's true. She is the Beyonce of words. As Carrington is getting Chase ready for battle, she's like, whoever gets the judge to pass him a tissue wins. And it's like we got to make them feel empathetic because we're going into mediation. We're not going into court. This is how we're going to resolve who gets what in the divorce. And she's like, I want you to dab your eyes with this. And we find out she's laced it with wasabi. So his eyes are red. As this was happening, I was like, oh my God, get the popcorn ready. I'm ready for the girlies to be fighting. Just back and forth across the table. And I was so thrilled. Well, one, our first judge of the series.
Yes, first one, episode 6.
Episode 6. It took 6 episodes to see a judge. But, of course, Chase can't keep his dick in his pants and tells Allura she looks hot, even in their divorce proceedings. Like, this man...
So inappropriate.
I know. He tells her, to aim to be fashionably on time next round, okay? But we see that Emerald has been passing some stuff to Allura, and Dina with this happening, and Carrington is sort of clocking it. And we see this, look. She's like, okay, what do they have over there? We don't know yet, but we will find out later. Our judge... God, I love him so. I hope Peter comes back because this was such a nice rounding out of the universe. He was very much okay, I want you to remember you did love each other once and let's talk to each other and we not make it we're fighting at each other across the table. Let's get back to those people and we can do this amicably. We get to Chase talking about Allura and it was so. I don't know how you felt during this, but I was like, man, he's either being very genuine about this or he's an incredible actor.
Again, I'm very confused by this character's motivation in general, but we did just have Carrington, tell him to, really milk it, so at this point, I was like, he's just milking it.
But I will say, I was like, he did a good job convincing me to that point. I was like, okay, maybe he is actually being genuine about how he felt about Allura.
Yeah.
And he talks about, how they met each other. It was after he scored a touchdown. They were playing the Dolphins. And he saw this ray of light. She was wearing all white. I was like, of course she was. I was like, also, who wears, all white to a football game? You're eating nachos. I'm eating nachos. I don't know if Allura is eating nachos.
I am eating nachos. They made it seem like it was a basketball game and she was sitting in courtside seats.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know how you can really catch somebody's eye that far away. The logistics of that seem off.
We'll suspend our disbelief much like a lot of other things on All's Fair.
I don't know what you mean.
we talks about like how beautiful she is, and Carrington like shudders, like she can't handle it.
I know.
There's a lot of good face work from Sarah Paulson this episode, and we get the tear that Carrington wanted at the end of the thing as he's talking about Allura, and we see her grab the tissue. She feels like she's gotten her victory here. She thinks like there's no way that GRG can get on her side, and he ends it saying like, I'm a better person because of you, Allura, which I was like, are we about to start to go into for good?
I know. I had the same thought.
I was like, you know, as someone who's seen Wicked for Good twice in the last week, I wouldn't be opposed. They ask for a break, and we see Allura go to the bathroom, and she has the craziest mascara tears. I was like, for her to have the mascara running, I was like, she has so much money, her mascara would not be running like that. So I was like trying to figure out, like, is she using like the Great Lash Maybelline?
That stuff runs so badly.
So
is that the one with the pink and the green?
Yeah.
You can't even yawn. It'll be down your face.
We see her touch her stomach. And as we've glossed over the last several episodes, she did famously have those embryos implanted at the end of episode 3.
She sure did.
Scored to Lana Del Rey. Context clues, we're assuming either she's miscarrying or she had her period. Dina came in to check on her, tell her, lawyers, we always make for the worst clients, and she comes out, it's my period. The embryos didn't take. I was like, wow, we are maybe 15 minutes into the episode and this is coming out. What else is going to happen? This is crazy.
And to announce that to Dina, knowing that she hasn't told Dina any of this and that a felony was committed in implanting the embryos, to just casually be like, the embryos didn't take, is insane.
This just kind of tells you, I guess, the stakes for this world where, like, Allura is like, we're going to find a way out of this. Like, I'm not going to suffer any consequences. She tells her she had them implanted 3 weeks ago.
Quick timeline. So 3 weeks ago. So we were trying to figure out last week why Milan looked so much more pregnant than she had. And we were like, maybe it's been like 4 months. 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Also, we haven't seen Milan working the front desk since the pregnancy.
No.
And Dina tells her you could be charged with destroying communal property. More of our many like random law terms that we've sprinkled into the episode, which means the embryos, they belong to both of them. And we go back to the table. Now Allura gets to speak her piece to Chase. And we get through this whole thing where she's like, you know, we spent all of our lives planning what we were going to do together, including our kids. And she's like, I just didn't realize how much you despise perfection. She goes through and she says this whole thing that's like, honestly, again, Kim did a great job here. And I was like, I'm emotional. I can't tell if this is genuine. It felt like just very impactful, but she was like, you know, I believed in you. You believed in me. I loved you, Chase Moner. I was like, oh my God, I'm kind of gutted.
Yeah, she did a really nice job with this.
Yeah.
This was a difficult, meaty little monologue, and she did a nice job.
Yeah, I was like, could you imagine like having like a table moment like this where you meet with an ex and sort of like get to like talk like this to them?
No, I would just start fucking screaming.
I know, that's when we enter the witness protection program. But Chase is moved. And he cries, and Carrington is pissed because now the scales have tipped in GRG's direction, and she gives him as a tissue in a very violent fashion.
Really just slaps it on him.
Slaps him. She's like, ugh. We go to recess, and Alberta and Carrington are both pissed at Chase. They're like, you know, he's like, you know what? I'm sorry. Like, Allura is the best thing that ever happened to me. The judge is going to see that. Okay, this is when I was like, we're really like pulling from, I think, the public's POV of Kim. She's a walking blow-up doll who got her law degree. I was like, that feels like something they pulled like from Kim.
Absolutely.
Because that's how people view Kim and her business and like who she is as a person. And we find out... So how they're going to go about this, their tactic is like, we're not contesting the prenup because then that makes it more complicated.
According to what they said, if I understood it correctly, if they contest the prenup, then they have to win. Because if they contest the prenup and lose, they get nothing.
Exactly. So I was like, it was funny when they said, do you know what prevailing party clause is? I was like, no, I don't. I was like, tell me.
Also, this man didn't know who Maya Angelou was. Why would you assume he knows that?
Of course he doesn't. But I did cackle at we want to slather it in Appletini lube and motorboat its titties. I was like,
they're having too much fun. I
know
with this role.
I do wonder. I was like, does Sarah Paulson do like a fun run with these at all? And like, are any of these improvised?
If they are, then give her the Emmy right now.
But the prevailing party clause, what I googled, like also like what it meant is that essentially in that case, if they challenge it and say that Grant Ronson Green loses, they pay for Chase's legal fees for Carrington and Alberta as well.
I see.
So he sort of, his little monkey brain, we get there, Tarzan gets there, he's like, okay, so we're challenging the prenup without challenging the prenup. And they're like, good job, here's your animal cracker, you've put it together. And so we go back in, and I cackled. I was like, Albus Grant, did they name her dad after Albus Dumbledore?
I had the same thought. I was like, seriously?
We find out she had a tough relationship with her mother, and where she sent her to one of those reform schools. I was like, oh, interesting. Did they pull this from Paris Hilton?
I had the same thought.
So we start to see the cracks in Carrington a little bit here, and the humanity we saw from the previous episode.
Yeah.
Which I loved. I loved this.
I did too, and that surprised me. I mean, we just saw that Carrington has a daughter and that her daughter is having trouble in school, possibly with, like, bullying or at the very least not fitting in, so it makes sense that she would have, like, a squishy heart for this.
And Alberta's pissed about that. She's like, girl, we're attacking Allura here. So we come back to the mediation table, and we're going to proceed as if there's no prenup. I was like, oh no. Okay, this is where things are going to go awry for Allura.
Yeah.
And they get to break, and outside, Carrington's like, all right, you're the best professional decision I've ever made. And we find out more a bit about Alberta's backstory, about how her law professor at Georgetown Law is like, you know, you got to smell like a hound and make sure you smell the stink, something along those lines.
Yeah.
But she's like, but what was that at the table? And we get a little bit more of Carrington opening up. We used to be friends once upon a time, but she never really opened up with me about, you know, these things about her past, so I never really knew this about her. And Alberta's like, well, okay, but we got to savor the present, savor the taste of victory, but, like, you can't have that crack in our appearance there again. We have to make sure we're like bulldogs at the table. And we get to Emerald and Dina's sidebar, and Emerald's trying to tell her, we've got to use the information I gave you. And Dina's like, we are not sinking down to their level. And Emerald's like, I hate to tell you, we got to go to fucking hell.
Yeah,
no
she
more
was
Michelle
like,
Obama here.
Exactly. They're like, when they go low, and she was like, we go to fucking hell. I was like, I love that.
I know.
I love that.
Unfortunately, with Carrington, you do. And Dina tells her, I will not condone using a video that was obtained illegally. Now here, okay, the video I thought she had illegally, I was thinking it was a video of Carrington giving Chase hair shampoo.
Like ring camera footage.
Because I was like, oh, yeah, because that would, like, show, like, okay, things got intimate with her and her client. Then we have to throw
if anything, it just looks weird, yeah.
Yeah. That was my thought. Did you think it was the cop footage here?
I really had no idea, honestly.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was, I really didn't know, because I didn't know it was necessarily about Carr. I assumed it was going to be a video of something having to do with Chase, because every single episode we find out another fucking stupid thing that Chase has done.
Yeah, I'm like, how does he have enough time in a day to do all of this?
I don't know. You're the quarterback of a National Football League team. Like, I think you're pretty busy.
Emerald comes back and is like, do you feel sorry for Carrington? Sort of taken aback by this whole thing, especially with the way that Carrington has been acting this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And Dina shows, like, a crack in her vulnerability as well. She's like, you know, when Liberty and Allura came to me about starting this firm, I said they can only take one person. And maybe what if I had told her she could have taken you and Carr, things would have been very different, because I see that she needed that assistance. Maybe she needed to be here for her to become her best self. Again, I want more flashbacks of, like, Dina and Carrington's dynamics. I just feel like we're missing a lot there.
Suspension of disbelief aside, I do feel like we're missing some pieces to the puzzle of, like, why she hates them so much. I get that, like, they abandoned her, but, like, your colleagues, like, leave and move on and do other stuff, and it's not, like, a personal offense to you. Also, like, Carr's behavior in that flashback where she, like, threw Dina's, like, model ship of the Mayflower.
The Nina, the Santa Maria, and the Pinta.
Yeah, which I don't know which one, but yeah, like, she's had, like, pretty unhinged behavior from the beginning that, like, in an actual job circumstance, you'd be like, you need to, like, go see the therapist we have on retainer. In the show in general, like, we are missing, I feel like, some crucial context of, like, why these relationships are the way they are.
I do think if this were a network length procedural, I do wish we were getting an episode that is just a flashback of them at the law firm 10 years ago.
I agree.
So we could get more context of like everyone, because I think that would help build out a lot of backstory. But again, we only have 9 episodes, so we're probably not going to get that this season, but maybe season 2.
We only have 9 episodes, and it took us 6 to see a judge, so...
Yeah. So really, don't hold your breath. We cut to Allura in Chase's house, and he's like, I'm so sorry. Now I understand why you were like this. This makes so much sense. And in response to him saying, I'm sorry, she's like, don't ever say those 2 words in a courtroom or a law office. I was like, that's hot. She's the alpha in this moment. Yeah. And Chase is the beta. And she's like, remember, enemy war. Don't forget.
This, like, skirt suit that they have her in is, like, insane. Also, like, Kim's butt in, like, an A-line pencil skirt.
I know. She's like the human version of Lola Rabbit.
Yes, she went to her plastic surgeon with a still from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Of Jessica Rabbit.
Sorry, I got my sexy rabbit, my sexy female rabbits confused. You were talking about Space Jam. I was talking about Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You guys get it.
You guys get it. We're on cold meds. Okay, we are back at the mediation table. And Carrington's like, okay, we're okay to make a deal on, as we've previously agreed on, the properties, $1 million a month in alimony. I was like, what does this man need for $1 million a month in alimony?
He is an NFL player. Yeah. He's making millions of dollars in salary. You do not need $1 million a month. Like, I don't know what... What are you talking about?
I know. Is it like paying off the women he keeps sleeping with? Again, like, I don't know. Probably.
Here's the thing. You can stay rich if you're not fucking around all the time.
Literally. Or other things we're about to find out about. And a 50% stake in Grant Ronson Green and Associates, which is what we know is the real reason why Alberta and Carrington are both at the table, because they want a piece of this damn pie. And they're like, okay, but you can keep everything else, Allura, including the embryos at Horizon IVF Clinic, and... hold your horses, Carrington. You don't know what's coming for you. And she tells her, she's like, you know, these embryos are your chance of being a mother without scientific assistance. And I think we both know that. And I was like, you know what? All right. And this isn't even the lowest that Carrington gets. And I was like, this is still pretty disgusting.
I actually, like, can't even believe that she is as despicable as she is. If it weren't Sarah Paulson, you would be like, this character is written so unbelievably. And she is. But Sarah Paulson somehow manages to, like, humanize her enough that you're like, it's kind of empowering in a weird way to see a woman behaving this badly.
I know, which makes me wonder. I was like, I would love to hear her character inspiration for this, and I gotta know what housewives she used. And we find out that at the IVF clinic, they have a policy in place where they don't want to get involved. Like, if there is a legal dispute, that they will destroy the embryos. Which I was like, holy shit! I was like, and I meant to look up if that's real, but that has to be. I mean, if they're saying that, there must be some truth in that, I would think.
It seems a little bit like, well, if you kids are going to argue over this, then neither of you can have it.
Exactly. Like, it's very Christmas Day rules, like yanking the toys out from Santa. And Carrington, the most, like, crass line about the Brady Bunch gets the goldfish treatment down the tube. I was like, Jesus Christ. Like,
I know.
And then the great Anthony Hopkins impersonation telling her, TikTok, Clarice. Oh, this, not having a voice right now is the closest I'm going to get to Carrington. TikTok, Clarice.
Yeah, that's great. That's really good.
You.
Yeah, you need to have a respiratory illness to get there.
And then this is when I was like, wow, the mediation has gone from the divorce to getting personal.
Yeah, I know. Like, the judge is like, I'm sorry, do you want me to leave? Like,
what's going on here? How did this happen? Because Dina's like, I'm going to break the fourth wall and tell you I failed you. And Carrington seems to be like, at first is like, well, I accept your apology, like, mommy dearest. And she's like, actually, no, I fucking don't. She tells Allura, she's like, the great female dilemma, work or family, what are you going to choose? I was like, okay, this is just like twisting the knife and like also like so meta, because this is the thing, as like women, we always have to choose between work or family. Yeah. Allegedly, that's like what they tell us.
And I'm like, what about the third option where I don't want to work and I don't want to have kids?
And also, we don't want to be trad wives. We just would like to be not perceived.
Yeah, exactly. Just let me float in the ether with like a Diet Coke and a bagel. Just like leave me alone. That's what I want.
Like in WALL-E.
Yes. Yes.
Just put us in our like little things in our iPad and just let me watch season 4 of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and I'll be fine.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. We don't want to be sexual beings at all
like,
anymore.
where's like, yeah, I don't want to like lean in. Like, where's the option where I like
want to lean out
back? Yeah, I want a lazy boy. I want to lean back. I want
like
to disassociate. Yeah,
lean back, and then we get the mic drop from Allura that really takes everything out. There are no embryos, Car. They didn't take. And you can
she keeps announcing this by being like, they didn't take, and it's like, what what? Nobody knows what you did yet.
I know, but they figure out pretty quickly.
They do.
And they're like, okay, illegally implanted embryo. She's like, yeah, what you gonna do about it? Carrington at that point is like, well, we're gonna charge you with manslaughter. I was like, that seems extreme.
Lawyers will fucking try it. They'll try it.
I do need to look up, because then I bet there has been a case like this.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, but Chase is moved by this, and he's like, I'm sorry, Allura, I'm so sorry. Because he knew she wanted to have kids.
Yeah.
Carrington is like, hey, stop showing her humanity. She just committed a felony. We don't like when he has his own brain. And she's like, okay, have it your way, Burger King. So dumb. But she's like, you know what? I don't care. I'm still going to take your fucking law firm. Because that's all they care about. They don't care about the embryos. They don't care about their divorce. They care about getting one up on Allura. In the middle of all of this, Dina gets a phone call. And she's like, and it's from her nurse, the hospice nurse taking care of Dougie. And apparently, of course, conveniently, things have taken a turn in the middle of this mediation. And this is when I thought, I was like, okay, Liberty's across town during arbitration. Wait, what? Did Naomi Watts just get written out of this episode? What's happening here?
I think so. I think they were like, we have decided to spin a fatal amount of plates. We cannot have Liberty in this episode.
But also,
because also,
like,
who the fuck cares about her
Liberty?
plotline?
At this point, I was like, Carrington's more of a part of their law firm than Liberty is.
It's really true.
But it was so funny for them to finally acknowledge, 30 minutes into the episode, Liberty is not here. So funny.
Honestly, I think as they were probably writing the series, they realized that, like, Liberty wasn't actually a necessary character. Like, they started with her, and then as things developed, they were like, we don't need her, but we already signed on Naomi Watts, so
we'll keep her here. And she is like, hey, Emerald, you have to take the lead on mediation, which I then had a thought. I was like, wait, isn't she an investigator? Did she take the bar? I'm confused by all of this.
Well, we later find out I had the same exact thought, and then we later find out in the episode that she is, in fact, a lawyer. But they really haven't made that clear until this episode.
But she's obviously nervous because it's going to decide the firm's future. And Dina's like, I know you can do it because I trained you. I was like, wow, there's nothing like another older woman like yelling at you in your face that makes you think you can do anything.
Oh my God. If Glenn Close made direct eye contact with me, I think I could run for president and win.
Alora's like, I count myself one fucking lucky woman to have you represent me. I was like, God, they're all building her up. These two women are lifting Emerald up. It's like a cheerleading pyramid. They're like doing the this one where they lift their legs up and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah. I mean, like, this is what true female friendship is. Even if your friend tells you the most unhinged, like, you don't agree with it, whatever they say, you're like, yes, you got this. Fucking go for it.
Oh, yeah. That's why 702 wrote the song, Where Are My Girls At? From the front to back.
Can you repeat that?
And they walk down the cervix hallway, and Emerald's like, if we're going to win, we got to do it my way. And I was like, oh, okay, we're going to finally find out what this video is, like, what's about to happen. And I had to take a screenshot of this because I was like, this is the most insane backdrop.
The TV is like the arbitration hearing. Like, what?
Is this like in a hotel conference room? Like the graphic?
Yeah, you walk into the Hampton Inn and Suites, and you're like, oh my God, welcome, Andrea. Am I royalty?
So we get to Emerald. She's like, I come here to defend. She does her like opening remarks. She's like, I'm here for women who have been screwed over. It will be tried in the press. She's like, I'm tired of your dirty, nasty games, and we're gonna go here. She's like, you are not gonna take as much as a goddamn ballpoint pen out of this building. And I was like, that's right. This man deserves nothing. And Carrington is like titillated by this whole thing. She's like, you can tell she loves Emerald. Like, she's, like, having fun here. She was like, enough edging, counselor. Let us come already. And we get this, like, insane screenshot of Chase's stats as a quarterback. Emerald explains that the choices he was making mathematically could not have happened by mere chance, and that they aligned with a flurry of targeted high-stakes bets. And we find out that, this was a fix. We find out that amongst Chase's many other flaws, he is now also a card shark. I was like, when does he have time for any of this?
I know. It's very funny because you're like, if he were actually, like, putting this energy towards something, I don't know, good, like, he could get a lot done. But instead, he is just, like, putting his dick in stuff and, like, spending money recklessly on, like, shitty gambling.
We find out he's got to clear his debts. I need more time. And they're like, okay, excuse me. She hacked to get this information. She's like, it's not hacking if my client has a password. I was like, T.
Yeah. T.
She's got the password. Then our king was like, well, this is not admissible in the scope of proceeding. And we're like, okay, but we know Emerald, this isn't her only card she has in her hand. This is the first one to sort of like weaken the defense to really get us the real stuff.
As we've seen many times throughout this show, they don't necessarily practice law. They practice espionage and blackmail. And so it's funny that they had the judge be like, by the way, none of this is legal, but I'm enjoying myself, so keep going.
Yeah. Can I get some Nobu while I watch?
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah, you all tend to get Nobu here normally, but oh well, maybe next time. And Emerald does an incredible set of opening arguments where she's like, you know, this is for the women like Milan who is carrying your baby. She's like, this is for the woman next door. This is for the woman at Ralph's. This is for the woman at Trader Joe's. I was like, yes, this is for me. This is for Andy. This is for all women. I was like, maybe Niecy Nash needs to run for president. Again, a thankless job. This is fool's errand. Don't run for president. Then Carrington, I actually was like, again, we've seen her go very low, and I couldn't believe she was going this low.
But she was like, are you sure?
Yeah, she was like, are you sure you're not talking about your steamy photo shoot, Em? And I was like, I can't believe she's bringing up the photos from, again, when she was assaulted in episode 4. And she's like, thinks she's like made a point here. She's like, Grant, Ronson, and Green exposing assholes, ha. And everyone is like, silent. You could hear a pin drop in the room.
Yeah.
And that's when Emerald was like, okay, well, I guess now that you've made this mistake, I'm going to show you this video footage.
Uh-huh.
And again, I assumed it was her washing Chase's hair. That was my thought, what this video
Fair
footage was going to be. Yeah. Because I was like, okay, that's a clear, like a very clean line to be like, okay, we can throw this case out because a boundary has been crossed between this client and their lawyer. But no, it's the camera footage of Carrington getting her DUI.
Which makes sense because Emerald is a former police officer and has ties.
Yep. With her partner that we saw a few episodes ago, they probably were like, okay, well, we couldn't help you out then. Here's the footage you need. And we hear her admit that she's like, I could have given my Hordian client a blowjob. And Emerald is like, to really twist the knife in, this is the part for your grandkids, after she had said those pictures were for Emerald's grandkids. I, for one, did not suck off my client, and I've got no gag reflex, so it would have been great. I was like, oh, God. This is when you're like, you got to stop drinking because, like, literally anything can fall out of your mouth. But she was at 0.09, as we heard, which I was like, how is she walking?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of alcohol.
That's a lot of alcohol.
Why were you driving?
She's like, I need a man. I need a Scorpio man. Which then I was like, what is Carrington's chart? Who needs a Scorpio man? That's despicable.
The fact that they left that in, I was like, God, that's so embarrassing. It also made me think of Little Edie from Grey Gardens. I have to find this Libra man.
I wonder if that was probably the influence, because I also was like, this is the most LA thing to be like, I need this specific type of man, because everyone in LA knows their sun, moon, and rising, and what their Venus sign is. So I was like, this is just LOL, very LA. And then, God, if this is not Sarah Paulson's Emmy clip here.
I know.
This was the next 3 minutes was like such fun acting. I was like, she's having the time of her life here.
Oh, yeah.
She climbs on the table and looks like she's about ready to like yank that video from Emerald. She was like, what is wrong with you? Give it to me right now. Fucking give it to me. You're really just a dirty fucking cop. And it just like goes on like the monologue of a lifetime. I'm going to report your ass to the fucking state bar to access privileged fucking information. And she's like on the table, just like trying to get the iPad off. And our sweet angel is like, counselors, this is not a court of law. We're mediating. Like, what are we even doing here? Like, why am I here? It's like, I've just been invited. And she's like, what were you going to do? Release it to Daily Mail? Because Daily Mail, as we know, next to TMZ, is the most despicable public piece of news on the internet. Mm-hmm. And Laura is like, well, the truth will out, even if, you know, you didn't think, if it wasn't us, it was going to be someone else. Someone else is going to, like, release this information. And Carrington's like, you want the truth? I'll give you truth. I fucked your husband. And she does this amazing, like, run of lines here where she was like, yeah, how you exploded inside me, in my mouth. I was in my ass, in my pussy. And your neighbors were like, what's the screaming? Maybe there's some human ritualistic sacrifice going on. I was like, I am a better lawyer, a better lover, a better mother than you'll ever be, you infertile, career-obsessed bitch. I was like, what a run. My face as she did that.
I was, yeah, exactly. I was speechless. I was absolutely speechless. We have already, like, again, this is a credit to Sarah Paulson's acting.
I know.
We've seen this character say the most vitriolic, ridiculous, crude stuff, and yet she somehow managed to, like, take it even further.
Yeah.
Like, and push the stakes even more. And it was, like, it was outstanding. Like, I don't know that this show should necessarily win any Emmys, but Sarah Paulson should
win an Emmy.
Absolutely win an Emmy for this.
Correct.
This was crazy.
I mean, it was like to the point, it's like, okay, if you're going to go that low and show that footage, I'm going to show you how low we can go. Hades doesn't even know how low we can go.
Oh, no. She also, like, she did a really great job of portraying, like, this woman has just fully snapped the tether.
Yep.
Like, fully snapped. She doesn't even really know what's coming out of her mouth at this point. Like, she is behaving so badly that, like, she has completely lost control of herself.
Because I think if there's anything we know about Carrington to this point, it's that she has a sense of control about herself, and to show that she had no control, that lets the facade come crashing down. So it's like, all right, well then, like you said, the crazy is out. If like, here you go, you want it, here you go, boys. It's like, it's very Rose's turn. It's very like, all right, if you want it, come and get it. And I want more of it. I like needed to rewind this scene. This was such a masterpiece.
We have not seen the likes of this since, like, Lady Macbeth, honestly.
Correct. If drag queens are not lip syncing this, by, the end of the business day, I will be upset. But Carrington is sort of like, again, caught off guard. She can't believe she said all of that. And again, obviously she's making up like they didn't have sex, but it's like
Right. And
so then she runs in this other room and I was like, do they have a barista?
It seems like they do. I was like, where is she? And I was like, they're still in GRG. Like, they have a full, like, food service staff.
And I was like, wow, they really are bringing in the bucks if they have a full-time barista at GRG. Emerald comes in after her and she was like, okay, we're gonna just do as, like, the personal item said. Chase does not deserve half this law firm. And Carrington says what we knew all along. I didn't want it for him. I wanted it for me. And she's like, I've been raising a daughter on my own, running a business on my own. I am 100% alone with all of it. And Emerald reminds her, okay, Pot, it's me, Kettle. I'm the single mother of 3 boys. Like, I'm the person who gets it. She tells her about how she went into law school and, all of these women at Sigma Delta Kappa didn't think she was worth anything. And I loved this because she talked about, she's like, I'm reminded every single day that they don't matter, because it's always my favorite thing is the best revenge is living well. Is always what I say. You don't need to prove anything to anyone else. The best revenge is living well and showing, like, how incredible you are. So just remember that out there. If you take anything from All's Fair, it's the best revenge is living well, and just that, like, you thriving and living your life the way that you want it. Trust me, people are out there watching, and they're taking note, and they're mad. And you don't have to be, because they're mad.
And let them be mad.
Yeah, your haters are your greatest motivators. And Carrington's like, I'm better than you. And Emerald's like, you know what? I've admired you. And, like, fuck me for saying that. It's like, wow, these moments. God, I just love that these 2 women are now getting to have a great meaty scene together.
Yes, I agree. Also, like, crazy for this character to be able to, after Carrington said that horrible thing to her about, like, her being assaulted and having those pictures taken of her, crazy for her to be able to, like, enter this room and be like, fuck it, I actually do admire you. Like, woof.
Yeah, just to really, like, be like, I'm going to be the one to humble myself a bit so that we can, like, meet in the middle and we can solve all this. Be done with this. Carrington's like, you're talking about me? You admire me? Like, 'cause after all of this, because she's felt such a tier below these women for years and years, as we've seen from the law firm before. And we find out that Emerald is on the board of the school that Carrington is trying to get her daughter into because her sons went there. And she's like, I will put in a good word for your daughter if we settle this stuff today. Carrington's like, why are you being nice to me? And Allura walks in and she's like, we should have asked you to come with us. And they're like, we're showing we were mean and nasty. We were mean girls.
Yeah.
And I thought this was such a nice moment of them coming together, and I think it's building to what we've wanted. All the girlies on the same side of the table.
I really hope so.
Which is why I think season 2, my theory, it's going to be all of them in one firm together. Maybe they're against Alberta.
Maybe. We'll see. Yeah. I thought this was a really nice scene as well. Like, it was... Yeah. We've been craving this and wanting it.
Allura tells her, she's like, it's time for this to all be over, Car. Like, let's be done with it. And we see Carrington sort of like be vulnerable, and she cries here. And then she's like, ick, hugging, sorry. She's like, all right, back to my normal facade. And she was like, we would have been at each other's throats if we partnered. And we just kind of have this nice moment together, put the button on it. And she's like, I would have not done well in this grayish color palette, evidently inspired by Rikers. LOL.
Oh my God.
She can't stop herself.
She really can't.
And then tells them, like, we're going to do 50-50 split, no firm. And everyone's, like, okay with that. And she's like, if you tell anyone we had this fucking conversation, you're dead. Allura and Emerald hug. And we get this, like, sad shot of Chase. I don't know how many hours have passed at this point. And we have our janitor, the lone janitor, and we have this like crazy song that comes on, and we get this like silhouette of Allura and Chase seeing one another. They have one last handshake and they kiss. I was like, ooh, this is like kind of hot. I hate to say it.
I know. I hate to say it as well. I do feel like they picked an appropriate song, the lyrics of which were repeated, run for me, darling, because as hot as this was, I was like, do not do this, just from the standpoint of, like, you might get oral herpes from this man.
I know. You've gotten one STI test that came back clear, but, like, you know. Then we see Allura walking away from Chase, so she's kind of got the power here, proud of our girl, leaving it clean. Not looking back. You gotta go no contact, everybody. No contact is the only way, because otherwise it's a slippery slope back to a situationship, and that is not what we want for Allura Grant. And then we cut to Dina and Dougie. Our boy is taking his last breath. I was like, damn, we were really doing Ed O'Neill dirty here. This man has just been on his deathbed. But again, I'm like, what a great check. He's been in bed basically this entire series.
I know. Like, we talk about like a princess track on Broadway, like a Fontaine, where you have like an incredible song and then you're just dead for the rest of the show. Like, he collected his money acting entirely lying prostrate. Like, incredible.
Like, am I on a Casper mattress? Am I on a Nectar? Like, what am I getting here? Is this Egyptian thread count? Like, does he get to pick the bed? I hope he does. But our boy Dougie is no more. And we get the last shot of Dina and Dougie in bed. And that's the end of the episode. And as we can see from, like, just the screen grab on Hulu for next week's episode, we see that we're going to be at Dougie's funeral. Yeah, that's the end of episode 6. Again, did not miss Liberty.
No.
Sorry to this woman. Sorry to Naomi Watts. We love you, but I just feel like she's not necessary. I don't know.
She's not. Like I said, I think they accidentally wrote her out after a while, and they were like, but we still have Naomi Watts, so let's use her.
We gotta use her. Yeah, how are we feeling at the end of this episode?
So much happened in this episode.
I know.
It was ridiculous. This show makes my head explode, like, a lot of the time. Sarah fucking Paulson, man. I think you texted me that, like, while watching, like, Sarah fucking Paulson, like, nobody else could do this role. I really don't think anyone else could do this role.
Yeah. This episode, if anything, was like, it was meant for the girlies and the gays and the theys. Because I was like watching like all of these women get to go toe to toe at different points of the episode. I was like, this is like my Super Bowl. It's like what I've been waiting for. I was like, I just want them to be fighting. We will see all of this on Evan Ross Katz's meme page by the end of Black Friday.
Yes.
And I'm thrilled. I really don't know where the end of this season is going to go now. We have 3 episodes left. We have 1 episode next week, and then the finale, it's a 2-episode drop. December 9th. But thank you again for joining us, cold meds and all. Episode 6. We hope to be back to normal next week. Bye, everybody.